we're talking about a couple of things here that now offensive linemen don't want to ask for help because I would think in your macho world, but at least audibly, you don't want to come out and say, hey, I need help on this guy. He's killing me, because the worst case scenario is Eli gets sacked. So how do you do it where you know that you're just getting killed and you need some help?
Well, number one, we on Wednesday when you come in, we know as an offensive line, all right, who's going to have to wear the hard hat this week? Because somebody's got a butt kicker on the other side of the ball that we're going to have to slide to. We're going to have to find a way. When we played the Dallas Cowboys, it was DeMarcus Ware. So we knew, hey, guess what? Deal, we're coming to you, man. We're going to find a way to help you out. We're going to chip. We're going to put a tight end over there. We're going to slide to you when we can. So we go into it just knowing, hey, man, this guy's got a tough time. When we played Chris Jenkins when he was down in Carolina, we would say, all right, we're gonna go tight end right on all pass plays. We're going to slide to the right, and our running back is going to help the left tackle and take care of the will linebacker. But we're sliding to Chris Jenkins no matter where he's at.
But your ego, do you ever have somebody who says, I got him?
I mean, no.
No?
I mean, unless you're Larry Allen, you're like, hey, man, I don't need any help.
Is he the greatest lineman of all time?
He damn near might be.
Why?
The guy was such a beast. And it's funny, I was talking to Antonio Pierce because I always like to ask the defensive guys after we played somebody, hey, man, who was really good? Who played against? And defensive guys always say, oh, man, they were sorry. They never give off. They will never want to give O-lineman any love. They're like, man, they were terrible. They weren't that good, except for Larry Allen. Antonio Pierce was like, man, he threw me out of the club. Like, grown man strength. Like, just, he's like, I came into him, and he grabbed me with two hands, and just, he's like, next thing you know, I was flying. He's like, Larry Allen was so strong.
Well, guys would sick out. They wouldn't play against Larry Allen. I mean, that's how good he was, that they would come up with, mysterious
Larry Allen-itis. Yeah, it was a condition. But also offensive linemen, it's almost like, you know what? Look, forget about the ego part. The one thing that my biggest fear going into any game was to get beat, because everybody's looking at you. And my biggest fear was to get Eli Manning hit, to be the guy that gave up the sack. And it was, people on TV are watching. My mom and dad, they're going to see that. I don't want to embarrass them. But I also don't want to come in here on Monday and guys are watching film. They're like, man, you got your butt kicked. And
it's okay to have a holding penalty.
Yeah, you can take a holding penalty all day long.
You're okay with that? I'm
okay with it if it saves a sack, for sure, and a hit on the quarterback. You gotta do that.
But have you had to apologize to Eli before?
I've had to apologize to Eli, but it wasn't for anything game related.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I may have pulled a couple of credit card roulette tricks with him, like, oh yeah, let's split the dinner. Everybody put their credit cards in, and then
Eli is paying for
that's
everything.
Weird. They must have all fallen out. Hey, thanks for dinner, pal. And he wasn't even there.
He makes the big dollars there.
That's what happens when you leave your wallet in the locker room. Yeah.
I also like that offensive linemen are supposed to be intelligent.
Supposed to be.
And you guys would break the huddle, and sometimes you'd forget what was just said like 5 seconds earlier.
Yeah.
So you get to the line. Can you actually tell each other what the play? Like, the defense is going to hear you if you say, "Here's what the play is." Wait, what's the count? What's the snap count?
Yeah, we would have code words for that. So, like, all right, let's say if we had a play that was like a zone play to the right, call it slant 8. Well, we would come up and say, all right, we have a code word for that. It's zebra, because it's zone play. So we'd say, hey, zebra right, zebra right. That's how you would call it out. Or sometimes you would just say, hey, zone right, zone right. And you could kind of say it without really the defense figuring it out. But, yeah, it would happen all the time. And one of the tricks that I would do, since you mentioned that offensive linemen think we're smart, as a center, I knew I could never forget the snap count. So my little trick was, in the huddle, I would hold my thumb on a finger. Really simple when you think about it. But if it was on 1, I'd just hold my thumb. As soon as, hey, it's on 1. Hey, it's on 2. And then that way, as I walk to the line and hey, this linebacker's doing that, nobody knew, but I'm just holding my finger. It was always my reminder. I wish Richie Sober would have done that, because then he would have stopped asking me all the time while I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. Hey, it's to the right, right? Hey, it's to the left, and what's it on? What's it on? So we would have like a code word too if you forgot the snap count. Hey, yellow meant what's the snap count, and then we would have to give it to him. And week in and week out, we'd change it to be, hey, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Alpha, Bravo, Delta.
All right, give me like a thumbnail sketch here, like 15 seconds on these teams here.
Okay.
Bengals.
For real. Andy Dalton's balling. Get that mustard stain off the shirt. Everybody, they remember him for the playoffs before, but He's balling.
Patriots.
Wow. Just when you think about the cast of characters that they've gone through, and we were talking about it during the commercial, the injuries of the offensive line, they lost Deion Lewis, Julian Edelman and Gronk are balling, but Tom Brady is just unbelievable. He's unstoppable. He's like Terminator Genesis.
Carolina.
Cam Newton is for real. You look at his stats and you compare him to these other quarterbacks in the NFL, and his stats don't compare, but he's beating people with his arms, with his arm and his legs now. The Green Bay game, they had 7 explosive plays on offense, more than Green Bay, which I would have never thought going in.
Denver.
They're scary good because they're winning because of the defense. And Peyton hasn't really turned it on yet. And I think he's going to get hot. And when he does, yeah, look out. But they've got to be able to run the football.
Packers.
They've had 2 bad games, a lot of mental errors. Sometimes you get a little relaxed because you've got Aaron Rodgers back there. But they're legit. They're still a good team.
It's always great to have you in, Shaun.
Thanks, Dan.